Number 10. Urine showers. Anyone? Certain types of bats have been known to anoint themselves with their urine. Yes, that's right. Bats use their urine to perfume themselves. This behavior, known as urine washing, partly explains the thick smelly cloud of air that surrounds bat colonies and certainly explains the scent of individual bats. So the next time you need to get a lost racket out of the attic, think twice about using your bare hands to get it out. Some gloves will come in handy, or maybe just leave them there, so he can think long and hard about his personal hygiene options. Number 9. At least 14 species of bats have barbed rods, or phallic spines, and some spines up to 1 centimeter in length. 0.4 in. The grizzly bat has spines in the penis that make up 6.6% of its body length. This is the same guy who is 183 centimeters, 6 feet tall, and has 12 centimeters, 4.7 in, barbs on his penis. Hello again. Scientists speculate that spines could be used to hold bats together, often while mating in the air, for optimal reproduction. Another possible cause of the spines could be the removal of the remaining sperm in the female from another male bat. This ensures the maximum chance of successful procreation. The reason why a male bat has to dump the sperm of another bat is because the female bat can keep the sperm inside and wait for the optimal time to fertilize based on environmental conditions. Number 8. Bats are known to be very sexually active and have been known to masturbate several times a day. They not only take care of themselves, but also help their friends. Mutual masturbation is common among both male and female bats. Number 7. Now, I think it's very clear that bats are very passionate about sex. Besides the copious amounts of sex that occurs between male and female bats, it is common for bats to play with the other team whenever possible. Groups of male bats have been caught red-handed, as well as groups of female bats rubbing their lady parts on each other. This often occurs when members of the opposite sex are not available to mate, such as when hibernating, foraging, or hunting. But this same-sex behavior is also common when members of the opposite sex are present and available. This behavior is not only common, but it is often quite cruel among males, and harms one of the bats involved. You can use your imagination here. Number 6. Bats live in misery. They have a very fast metabolism, and they have to eat constantly to keep their energy levels high. But a fast metabolism also means a fast digestive system. This means that bats often have to urinate and defecate, no matter when, where, or who they are. Bats excrete some form of solid or liquid, approximately every 20 minutes. So be careful when going into caves, because the floor of bat colonies is littered with droppings called guano. Guano is great for the natural environment as fertilizer, but not so good for our noses or cleanliness. A large amount of guano is also a breeding ground for diseases and the creatures that carry them, such as flies, cockroaches, rats, and the bats themselves. Number 5. Bats can be carriers of diseases. They carry diseases such as ABLV, Australian bat virus lyssavirus, which causes rabies-like disease in humans. Although people rarely get infected directly from bats, they also carry the hendrovirus, which they pass on to horses and thus to us. Histoplasmosis, a rare pneumonia, can be caught from the droppings of bat caves. Like bats, rats are also notable carriers of diseases. But these two animals aren't the only culprits. They tend to get a bad reputation through horrific historical epidemics and epidemics. However, humans are more likely to hunt something from livestock, including pigs, chickens, cattle, goats, sheep, and camels. 6. Number 4. Fruit bats seem to enjoy using their long tongues for other things besides licking fruit. They are one of the few animals known to perform oral sex, and no one knows exactly why they do it. Scientists say it might be to help with stimulation, lubrication, or maybe they're just enjoying it. You can't really blame them, can you? This behavior does not only occur between male and female bats. Several male bats were caught in this work with other males, as well as female bats with other female bats. I'm starting to think that bats are just frenzy and too weird for their own good. I just keep thinking about number 9 above. Barbs. Ouch. Number 3. Bats are foul-smelling creatures and use their scent as a means of communication. They have glands on their necks, which they use to smell themselves, as well as the things around them. Mother bats may use scent to identify their young in a crowded area, while others may do so to get to know each other or find mates. The smell is not very noticeable unless you have a bat close to you, or if it is kept in an enclosed space. That is, unless you stumble upon a huge colony of thousands of bats, where you might just leave from this stench and wake up in a bed of bat feces and fluids. Honestly, I'd rather leave them in peace. Number 2. What's a list of bats without mentioning the infamous vampire bat? Do not be afraid, readers. I will not tolerate the usual facts about vampire bats that I already learned in preschool. What I will say is that vampire bats rarely use humans as a blood source. They usually use cows, chickens or sheep as baby chicks and snuggle with the mother hen, and proceed to drink some of her blood. But the scariest thing about vampire bats is that they tend to go back to the same host they drank on from the night before. So, if you are bitten by us, likely come and visit you again the next night. It's like having your furry little best friend come to visit you every night, and also drink a teaspoon of your blood. But we can hide that part, right? Number 1. Now for some info that doesn't depict bats as bad guys. Bats are vital to many ecosystems as well as our crop industry. Bats keep fruit and crop-eating pests in check, saving farmers billions of dollars in pesticides and crop destruction. So really, bats are good for the economy too. Who would have thought? Bats are also pollinators and derivatives of seeds. Because they are found in abundance all over the world, and there are many different species of bats, they are responsible for a large portion of reforestation in heavily affected areas, such as those devastated by wildfires and other natural disasters. As much as you might want to get away from touching a bat and watching it live a exciting life, it deserves to be respected and admired from afar. They deserve our protection too, so they can continue to add value to our lives, while clearly enjoying theirs.